All right, we got Shrek and Fiona. There she is back there from Team Walk-Ons. We're out here at Hosking Field in Lebanon, Oregon. And we're doing our Band of Brethren Battle for Europe event. So, Shrek,
Yes,
you've been playing our events for what, 3 years, 4 years now?
2005.
Okay, so 4 years. And what is it? Well, I'm going to ask you a few questions. First one is, what is it that you like about the TAW events?
I've played several different venues of Scenario. I've played SPPL. I've played several big games at different fields in Oregon. And what TAW brings to the table is everybody gives you so much structure. Right? You know, there's always the safety rules. If you can't get, you know, that's there to protect us. But there's the game rules that partake to the scenario, the true scenario meaning. It allows the player to get into it and use his own ideas and feel a part of it. You get partnership into the game. You don't feel like you're going and doing someone else's gig. You feel like it's yours. You take ownership in it. And that's what I like about TAW, because he involves the players from the guy that's stepping on with rental gear or to the guy that brings a tank. He makes you feel you feel welcome. You feel part of a family, and when you have the opportunity, there is, like I play at other scenarios where it's just canned missions where you go out and take this flag station, which is fun. I love doing those missions. But TAW is like, that's a hamburger and this is filet mignon.
Awesome.
You know, and there's so many different levels of play. Like today, I usually go run heavy gunner. I shoot gobs of paint. I dropped it, helped our general, grabbed my knife and my law launcher, and started walking around completing missions. And I was having as much fun as shooting a case of paint at 20, 30 people.
Awesome. Awesome. All right, another question for you. Now, usually when TAW, we do our starting of the game. Normally, each army starts at each of their bases. This time we did something different. Why don't you tell them what was different this time and what you thought about it?
This time totally threw me. I played a lot of TAW events, and like Damien said, we started our 2 CPs and we get our missions and go complete them. But this, where the Americans started through the gap in the netting, which really tied to the storyline, and that's another thing that's really cool. It was tied to the storyline that the Americans had to fight out the beaches, off the ocean, and into the fire, and that was just too cool. And then every player had their own mission card, and there was infiltrate, which is spy. Those are cool. Those are way cool. And we got the dirty into the knife kill on that. Our team did, and that just brought. Even though we got knifed, our general got knifed. It was so cool. It just made us step our game up and get after the next level and start thinking more. And with all these other people, and it was cool. We had to start communicating with our team on a bigger level than we ever did. And it just threw me for a loop. I'm still trying to get my wheels on the ground. It's cool. I
Awesome.
feel like I'm.
Well, with that, because you said you had to get together as your team, team and stuff like this. So, tactic-wise, you hear some people that say in Scenario as a whole that at times there's not as much tactics involved. How do you feel like specifically just with this event and how the things were structured with the game format and the insertion? How do you think that ranked for tactics? Was it something tactical, or was it more of just kind of like the big game?
I really feel like it was more than a big game insert. It was a tactical, because the Germans were scrambling. We're like, whoa, how do we do that? So we broke into our lines and tried to stop them, and the Americans had to come out of the funnel basically. And it was tactically as challenging. You had to move, communicate, and fire. And that's tactics. That's any kind of, that's tactical paintball, is move, communicate, and fire. And if you're not doing that, you're not going to enter that field under that sort of fire. I mean, and that's what the Americans did, and I was impressed, dude.
Would you want to see, now that we're doing a World War II based game this time, would that be kind of something to consider for future games to kind of change it up. Some events where you have them start at their bases, and then other events where you start where already one army is fielded.
Absolutely, and that's what's really cool that you brought to the table this time, is it changed it up again. You know, everybody got used to what TAW was doing, status quo, and then here we are. Whoa, you know, we've got 30 minutes to get on our feet, and that to me is what is cool.
Awesome.
You're thinking it takes the game from your trigger finger and puts it in here, and that's what true scenario to me is about.
Awesome.
It's about your friends and thinking and being involved and having a good time, and with you changing the rules, and then there's the whole thing of you get in this box, okay, and everybody thinks, okay, this is tactical, this is scenario, this is where I want to live. Well, then when you jump out of that box, you see a whole new set of things, and it's like fresh air blowing on you. It's cool. It's really
awesome.